Hello chums! My channel recently hit 15,000 subscribers, so cheers! To celebrate, I wanted to compile a list of my top 15 favourite cars in Gran Turismo 7, because we all love a good list. Unlike all of my other lists, this one actually is in order, starting with 15th and ending with my favourite. And while looks and sound will come into it, this list will mainly focus on how each car drives. I am in no way vain enough to think you care about my opinion, but making this video gives me an excuse to drive my favourite cars some more, and it's a fun thought exercise. So let's begin! Kicking off the list at number 15 we have the Volvo 240, one of the cars I own in real life. It was a car that I was very excited for when it was announced for Gran Turismo 7, and that excitement quickly turned to disappointment when I tried it and found it to be one of the most unstable, tail-happy shitboxes in the game. Then the engine swap was added, making it orders of magnitude worse, albeit overpowered for 600 performance point races. A car known for safety and stability should not drive the way the Volvo 240 does in Gran Turismo 7. However, after several hours of fine-tuning over the space of several months, I got the fully upgraded car with its standard engine at least to work decently enough, but where it really made sense was on sports tyres with roughly 300 horsepower. The more predictable nature of the sports tyres worked much better and made this car finally good to drive. Number 14, the Ford Mustang Mach-1. I am not a Ford guy. In America you either like Ford or General Motors, and in the UK it's a similar situation, just with Vauxhall being the General Motors representative. However, with the Mustang Mach-1, as much as I don't like how it looks, it drives abnormally well. It was the first car I actually tuned in this game to a point where it felt controllable. Running this thing with full racing tyres and the maximum 700 horsepower or so just feels right somehow. And the way it's so controllable for what it is makes it one of my favourite classic American cars to drive. It's the car that made me start to love trying to set up muscle cars for handling. While I can appreciate their cars, I am not the biggest fan of Nissan. I feel like the Skyline GTR is that big budget, predictable choice everybody knows about. It's like if Grand Theft Auto 5 were a car, just without the predatory microtransactions. The same cannot be said about the R31 Skyline. It wasn't as successful in racing, it didn't have four-wheel drive, and it didn't have an engine that could comfortably run all of the horsepowers. What the R31 does have is 1980s styling, smooth rewarding handling, and a godly engine sound once upgraded. Just don't bother with the RB26 engine swap. In number 12 is the Suzuki Swift Sport, specifically the 2007 one. This is what you could consider my attainable dream car. It's nice to have low expectations in life, I suppose. I have had a weird obsession with this car since I used it in Gran Turismo 5 back in 2010. The revvy little 1.6 litre engine, coupled with the stocky upright styling, just does something right for me, and in Gran Turismo it handles well and sounds awesome for a 4-cylinder engine. This is my second favourite front-wheel drive car in the game. Just about missing the top 10 is the Lancia Delta. With its stock engine, it sounds awesome and it's glued to the road. With the R35 engine swap, it's a savagely fast little monster that punches well above its weight. In either configuration, I love this car, and you can't go too far wrong with the massive box flares on the wheel arches either. For maximum effect, take the engine-swapped Delta to the Eiger Nordwand circuit and start handbrake turning all the S-bends. I can't very well have a V10 absent from this list, so at number 10 we have my favourite V10 in the game. Is it the LFA? Maybe the Porsche Carrera GT? Nope! My pick is the 2002 Dodge Viper. While the two aforementioned sports cars will rev like there's no tomorrow, this Viper has more bass to its soundtrack, and it's arguably easier to drive than the other two as well, despite being capable of much more power than the Lexus and much more torque than the Porsche. The original Viper has a reputation for being an unforgiving car, and for biting you in the arse if you're not careful, but in Gran Turismo 7 it's as docile as a geriatric golden retriever. Whether you tune it for 700 performance points or run it at maximum potential, it just works. At number 9 we have the De Tomaso Pantera, easily one of the coolest cars ever made. Sexy Italian wedgie styling is mated to a good old-fashioned American V8, and the end result is a match made in heaven. The muscle car soundtrack is among the best in the game, and when it's coupled with a car that handles way better than you'd expect, this is easily one of the most underrated cars in the game. While it is savagely fast with a Coyote engine swap, I can't help but prefer this Cleveland engine just on sound alone. Number 8 is a Ferrari, which is a shock to me because Ferraris do absolutely nothing for me. To make things even more shocking, it's the Ferrari F430, a car I've always thought is utterly hideous. While the styling hasn't grown on me all that much, there is no denying how well this car handles, and to make things even better, just listen to it. To my ears, this is the best flat pane crank V8 in the entire game, even more so than the Scuderia variant of this car because this one can be tuned to rev even higher. This may be one of the most visceral sounding cars in all of Gran Turismo. At number 7 we have one of my all-time dream cars. The Mitsubishi GTO is one of those JDM hero cars that slowly seem to get worse compared to its rivals with each new Gran Turismo game released. In the original game, these things could be upgraded to over 900 horsepower to rival or even beat the Nissan R33 or R34 Skylines thanks to its innate stability, where the Skylines had more of a rear bias to their handling. In Gran Turismo 7, it's very much been done dirty, considering its maximum potential without engine swaps is 657 horsepower. That's about the same as the much lighter Honda NSX, and it's handily beaten by every other major player, whether it be the Skylines, Fairlady Z cars, or the Supras. However, it doesn't change the fact that this car sounds excellent for a V6 and drives as smooth as butter. Add in the Escudo engine and you can get the laggy big horsepower vibes from the Gran Turismo 1 iteration. Narrowly missing the top 5 we have my favourite engine swap, and long-time viewers may have already guessed that it's the Demon Charger. This car has no business being this good, but it is. The combination is perfect. You get the Demon engine's obscene power and a supercharger whine that makes every petrolhead's knees tremble. You also get the classic Charger's styling, coupled with handling that should not be this good. The result is a car that will surprise just about anyone. I cannot stress enough how much fun this rocket-powered freight train is. Kicking off the top 5 is a car that I keep mentioning because its engine is insanely good, yet it's only available for one Malaise-era Pontiac. The Corvette C6 with its fire-breathing LS9 engine is capable of almost 1000 horsepower, and I couldn't care less because it's all about the noise. Once upgraded, this car sounds like the end of days. It's utterly awesome. If the Ferrari F430 is the best of the flat-pane V8s, this is easily one of the best cross-plane V8s. It also handles so well that it can take the Bugatti Chiron engine and still turn out a decent lap time, though I wouldn't recommend it because the stock engine suits this thing perfectly. In 4th place is something you may not expect. The Volvo V40 is a car I have a soft spot for. Yes, it's a Ford Focus for old people. However, to my eye, it's a very handsome car, and the T5 has a 5-cylinder engine, which instantly makes it better than everything else. In Gran Turismo 7, it has the unique distinction of sounding flat and lifeless when stock, and when fully upgraded, it morphs into a 4-cylinder carrying a washing machine full of angry bees. Or to put it another way, shit. So, this particular car has the semi-racing exhaust, all of the removable upgrades, and a couple of the permanent upgrades like the high-lift camshafts and the titanium conrods, which will increase the redline. The end result is that it still sounds like a 5-cylinder engine, but with slightly more kick than the stock engine sound. It's fairly heavy for a front-wheel drive, but that actually helps with traction in this case, making for my favourite front-wheel drive car in the game. My bronze medal goes to the Jaguar XJ220. If we were going on styling alone, this would probably be tied for number 1 along with the Mitsubishi GTO. Driving this car is an absolute pleasure no matter how you choose to use it. You can leave it stock, you can set it up for 700 performance points, you can run it fully upgraded as I have here, or you can chuck in the V12 from the XJR9 Group C race car, and it will drive bloody lovely no matter what, and it sounds good too. The only downside that keeps me from placing this car higher is the interior view. You can't see over the steering wheel and dashboard. Mind you, I've had the pleasure of sitting inside a real XJ220, and it's fairly accurate. You are quite literally on the floor. It's also worth mentioning the ignition key is the same as a Ford KA. My number 2 is the Lamborghini Countach 25th anniversary. While the styling of this car is an acquired taste for some, I personally love it. The original Countach is dramatic but sleek, beautiful, and almost restrained by today's standards. Meanwhile, the 25th anniversary is a cocaine-fueled fire-spitting murderer with machine guns glued to it, and for me it's the first car I think of when someone says the word supercar. Despite the borderline insane styling, the way it drives couldn't be more different. It is possibly the smoothest, most forgiving mid-engined car in the entire game. While it does suffer with some minor understeer compared to its rivals, it's so utterly docile and easy to place. Add in the V12 sound and you can't go too far wrong. While I prefer it tuned for 700 performance points, once again, it works well when fully upgraded, and even with the Aventador engine. Before I reveal my favourite car in Gran Turismo 7, I'll cover a few honourable mentions that just missed out on the top 15. Either one of the 1990s Subaru Imprezas with or without the rally car engine swap are a pleasure to drive, feeling buttery smooth on their standard engines, and with the EJ20 rally engine they sound utterly visceral. While the Evos are equally awesome, there's something about the Boxer engine sound that just about does it for me. The McLaren F1 is arguably the greatest car ever made, and in Gran Turismo it almost lives up to that title, with a V12 soundtrack, high downforce, good top speed, and great traction. The only downside is the price of the damn thing. The 1987 Honda Civic without the engine swap is one of the only Hondas that doesn't suffer from the sound scaling issue, where applying upgrades to increase redline doesn't increase sound pitch. Once upgraded, this car sounds suitably angry, and its ultra-lightweight makes it one of the most agile front-wheel drive cars in the game. And at number 1, my favourite car in all of Gran Turismo, the one I enjoy driving more than any other, is the Toyota CHR. Wait, no, that car's shit. It's actually the Chevrolet Corvette C4. I found it very difficult to pick a number 1, but I've driven the C4 Corvette with a smooth 700 performance point setup more than just about any other car in the game, and I've enjoyed it every single time. I love how it looks with its 1980s wedgie styling. I love how the V8 has a bassy rumble without sounding synthetic and tinny like the LT5 engine for the C7 Corvette. It's very forgiving and progressive near the limit, and it suits a smooth driving style in a way that not many other cars have matched for me. It has a tiny bit of oversteer when braking, and it can kick the tail out when you act like a plonker in low-speed corners, so it presents just enough of a challenge to reward you. So, that was my top 15 favourite cars in Gran Turismo 7. Do you have a top 5, top 10, or top 15, or have you never thought about it? What would your winner be? Tell me in the comment section, and then do all the other engagement stuff like subscribe and pound my bell so you get notified of my future uploads. Thanks again for 15,000 subscribers. Take care now, and ta-ra.